Ethiopia is not just another country in Africa. This is an ancient land with old kingdoms, rock-carved churches, and stories that go back thousands of years. But the more you look at Ethiopia, the more unusual it becomes, from extreme tribes and colorful ceremonies to traditions that can surprise anyone seeing them for the first time. Today we'll take a closer look at Ethiopia, a country where ancient history, tribal culture, and strange customs still live side by side. Number 1. Ethiopia. Feels like a world of its own. If you think Ethiopia is just another country in Africa, this place will surprise you very quickly. This is a land known for strikingly beautiful women, ancient traditions, and unusual rhythms, where the calendar is different. The clock works differently, and the writing system looks unlike anything most visitors have ever seen. Ethiopia sits in the Horn of Africa, surrounded by countries like Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Kenya, South Sudan, and Sudan. It has no coastline today, but it still feels like one of the most important countries on the continent. With about 136 million people, Ethiopia is the second most populated country in Africa after Nigeria. Just imagine this: one country, many languages, many ethnic groups, ancient churches, highland villages, busy markets, desert tribes, and one capital city, Addis Ababa, where old tradition and fast modern growth meet every day. But Ethiopia does not only feel different on paper, it feels different in daily life too. On rough roads and rocky ground, you may see people wearing handmade sandals cut from old car or truck tires. Locally, these sandals are known as barabaso. They are simple, tough, and practical. Since tires are made to handle friction and heavy weight, these sandals can last for years on Ethiopia's harsh terrain, and they may cost only around $2. In a country where the land can be hard on your feet, even a pair of sandals tells a story of survival and creativity. In many places, sharing traditional beer is a sign of friendship and care. This beer is often made from corn and malt, with dried geisho leaves and stems used to give it bitterness and help preserve it. It is usually thicker than modern filtered beer, almost like crushed grain in a cup. Sometimes it is served in a dried gourd, and you may see groups of people, often women, sitting together drinking it slowly, as if it is not only a drink, but also food comfort and community in one small vessel. Right beside that, you may notice something even more common in some areas: khat, also called chat. People chew it to stay alert, and when it takes effect, locals may describe the stimulated feeling as merkana. For many people, one small bundle is not enough. They may need a whole little stack before they really feel it. But it also has a strange downside. After chewing khat, some people say they need something to calm down later, because otherwise sleep can become difficult. Your eyes may feel tight, almost like guitar strings, wide open and refusing to close. Ethiopia also has its own ancient writing system connected to the Ge'ez script. The letters look beautiful, almost like small symbols carved from history. And unlike many African countries, Ethiopia was never fully colonized in the same way most of the continent was, which helps explain why its culture feels so distinct and self-contained. And now, I am curious, what country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments below. Number 2. The land of beauty in Africa. In Ethiopia, women don't fit one fixed image. You'll see deep brown to dark skin tones, natural hairstyles, braids, or simple headscarves in everyday life. And the vibe can change fast depending on where you are. Start in the highlands, and you'll quickly hear about the Amhara. They make up about 27% of Ethiopia's population and live mainly in the northern and central highlands, often seen as the cradle of the ancient Ethiopian state. They're also one of the main communities that preserve and use the Amharic language. Many people notice Amhara women for long, slender faces, higher nose bridges, naturally curly hair, and a traditional style that feels clean and elegant. During Ethiopian Orthodox holidays and religious ceremonies, they often wear the Habesha kemes, a long white dress with colorful embroidery around the neckline and sleeves. It looks simple, but it's very distinct, and it's nothing like the African fashion stereotype many Westerners imagine. Now zoom in on daily life, especially outside big cities. In rural Ethiopia, a lot of women sell goods sitting under a tree or along the roadside vegetables. Fruit milk, fresh honey laid out on cloth in bowls or small containers. It's less like a formal market and more like the village itself turning into a marketplace. And you'll notice soccer culture everywhere too. Piles of soccer jerseys for sale, and both women and men wearing them like it's the default outfit. Then you go south to the Omo Valley, and the picture changes again. Tribes like the Dasanak live a semi-nomadic life, and for women, they're not wearing upper clothing can be completely normal inside the community. Instead, decoration takes center stage. Layered bead necklaces are the main fashion, and hair is tightly braided and coated with mud, forming thick styles that can last a long time. And among the Mursi and Surma, you reach customs outsiders often call shocking. When a girl enters puberty around 15 to 16, a key ritual may begin. The lower lip is cut with a small incision to start wearing a lip disc. The first discs are usually small, made from clay or light wood. Over time, the disc size increases gradually and can reach about 10 to 15 centimeters in diameter. In these communities, a larger lip disc isn't random. It signals higher status, and it also affects marriage arrangements, because the larger the disc, the higher the dowry value. If you want to know the secret to winning the hearts of beautiful Ethiopian women, don't hesitate to comment too below. I'll reveal it to you right away. Number 3. 13 months in a different time system. Do you think you're living in 2026? Actually, there's still one country where people are living in 2018, and that's Ethiopia, where time slows down by about 7 years and 8 months. This comes from the country continuing to use an ancient calendar system that dates back more than 1,500 years, closely related to the Coptic calendar, used by the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt, instead of switching to the Gregorian system like most of the world. The structure itself is unusual. A year has 13 months, where 12 months all have exactly 30 days, and the final month has only 5 to 6 days. Many locals even believe that having an extra month brings more luck, which adds a cultural meaning beyond just timekeeping. At the same time, the daily clock works in a completely different way. Instead of using a 24-hour system, Ethiopia follows a 12-hour cycle starting at sunrise. This means the day begins when the sun rises, not at midnight. So when it is 7 a.m. elsewhere, it is considered 1 o'clock in the morning locally, and 12 p.m. becomes 6 o'clock during the day. Sunset is treated as 12, and then the clock resets again for the night. Because of this confusion happens all the time, many organizations have to constantly convert between 2 calendars and 2 time systems just to function. Even simple things like scheduling or paperwork can become complicated when combining Ethiopian and Western systems. I'm not sure I can adjust to the first week here. Once you wrap your head around Ethiopia's 13-month calendar, the next shock is easier to taste. Number 4. Local dishes that challenge tourists. Food in Ethiopia is not just different. It can feel like a real test. If you are used to dishes like raw blood pudding or sashimi, that is still just the warm-up here. In cities like Addis Ababa, dishes like kitfo and gourd are extremely popular. Fresh beef or goat meat is cut straight into bright red pieces, then either minced and mixed with spiced butter or served in raw chunks. There is no searing, no cooking, just pure meat dipped into sauces or wrapped in flatbread. In some places, you will even see an entire slab of beef hanging, and people simply slice off pieces as they eat, turning the meal into both a visual and taste experience. No matter where you go, injera is everywhere. This fermented flatbread has a spongy texture, full of tiny holes, slightly sour taste, and strong elasticity. Instead of utensils, people tear it by hand, wrap it around meat or curry, and eat directly. A single meal can include over a dozen spices, creating layers of flavor that feel intense but balanced. In simpler settings, injera is paired with chopped vegetables and chili powder rolled up quickly into a basic but filling meal. What makes it even more unusual is how it is cooked. In many areas, injera is baked using burning dried cow dung as fuel, giving it a distinct smoky aroma. Around it, markets are filled with large sacks of spices, like ginger, garlic, cardamom, and cumin, forming what many consider the true backbone of Ethiopian flavor. If you want fruit for dessert, cactus fruit is an ideal choice. It's sold in large piles. Looking at the fruit, you'll see that the outer shell is covered with tiny spines that need to be carefully removed, while the inside is soft and slightly sweet. And once you're here, you absolutely must try the fragrant traditional coffee. Ethiopian coffee is roasted right in front of you, releasing a strong aroma, then brewed slowly. At the same time, frankincense is burned, creating a deep, warm atmosphere. Some people even add salt or black seed oil instead of sugar, giving the drink a completely different flavor profile. Food in Ethiopia can already feel intense in cities, but once you step into tribal regions, it goes to a completely different level. In the highlands of the Doors, the entire food system revolves around a plant called enset, often known as false banana. The fruit itself is inedible, so instead people use the starch-rich stem and roots. This plant alone supports around 20 million people, with the potential to feed over 100 million. The process is long and unusual. Locals cut open the trunk, scrape out the inner pulp, then squeeze out all moisture before burying it underground to ferment for months or even years. After that, the fermented mass is kneaded into dough and turned into kocho, a dense flatbread. It is grilled on a hot surface, sandwiched between banana leaves to prevent burning, then eaten with fresh honey or spicy chili paste. Sometimes you can even see bees still sitting on the honey, which tells you how fresh it really is. Let me know if you dare to eat those dishes by commenting the number 4. If you don't dare, we'll move on to the next content. Number 5. The strangest tribes of Ethiopia. First, let's go back to the Omo Valley, because this is where outsiders feel the biggest culture shock. The Dasanak live a semi-nomadic life close to harsh land and water, and their style looks completely different from city Ethiopia. You'll often see women with tightly braided hair, coated with mud, built to last, and heavy bead necklaces that function like identity, beauty, and status all at once. Their homes are low shelters made from whatever works: plastic sheets, metal animal skin, and branches tied together into something just big enough to crawl inside. The Mercy with lip plates are the ones we already met a moment ago. Close by, the Suri, often grouped with the Surma, are known for bold body painting and scarification. And for Donga stick fighting, young men compete to prove strength and earn respect. And their family structure can surprise outsiders too. Depending on status and wealth, a man can have up to 3 wives. The wives aren't the same rank either. The first wife is honored with a large metal neck ring, while the second and third wear simpler round metal rings. So even without asking, you can often read family position through jewelry alone. Some mothers bathe their babies by taking water into their mouth and gently spraying it onto the child's skin. a simple method used to save water and control every drop in a place where water isn't always easy to spare. That status through jewelry idea shows up again with the Hyenas. When you see a Hyenas woman, locals can often tell her marital status and her position in the household by the jewelry she wears. It's like a social ID card, just made of metal and beads. And then there's the tradition most outsiders never forget, Hyenas bull jumping. A young man must run across the backs of a line of cattle multiple times without falling. If he succeeds, he's recognized as an adult with the right to marry. If he fails, he waits and tries again later. Now, just when you think Ethiopia can't flip your assumptions any harder, the bodies show up with a beauty standard that does the exact opposite of Instagram. In parts of the lower Omo region, the body are known for valuing a big belly as a sign of status, especially during their famous ceremony, often described as Ka-El. Selected men go through a fattening period where they avoid heavy work and consume rich food to gain weight quickly, because a larger belly is seen as a symbol of prosperity and respect. On the day of the ceremony, they're presented to the community compared and praised like champions, not just for appearance, but for what their body represents: abundance. Number 6. The job that can cost your sight. In Ethiopia, there's a job where people say, after about 3 years, workers can lose their vision, their hearing, and even look like their skin is turning lighter. Not because of magic, but because they're constantly coated in salt. This is salt mining, where salt is treated like white gold. There are no machines out here. Workers use hammers and axes to break salt layers from the ground, then cut them into brick-shaped blocks. On a strong day, someone might produce up to 200 salt bricks. These are bundled in stacks of 8 to 10 and tied onto camels. Each camel carries dozens of bricks and then walks across the salt desert for about 3 days to reach trading towns like Burhale. Donkeys are sometimes used, but they carry less and don't handle the conditions as well. The danger builds slowly. Most workers don't have real protective gear, just thin cloth over the face that barely helps. Salt dust gets into eyes and ears day after day, causing irritation and long-term damage. Over time, many workers develop serious problems, and some lose their ability to see or hear. Lack of clean water makes it worse. After long shifts, workers can't wash properly, so salt builds up on the body. Skin becomes dry, cracked, and covered in white residue, sometimes making it look like the skin changed color. That constant irritation can lead to wounds and infections. And deeper in the Danakil Depression, it gets more extreme. The area has active volcanic activity and high sulfur levels. At high concentrations, gases can turn toxic and harm the body quickly. Temperatures often hit 120 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why people call it a natural furnace. In some zones, workers even extract black salt, which looks more like mud or cement. The dark color comes from volcanic minerals like iron and sulfur. The work is still fully manual. Workers step into the water after sealing their noses and ears, use wooden sticks to break and collect the material. Carry it by hand. Pile it up, pack it into bags, then tie the bags together. Donkeys haul them to storage areas made from simple wooden structures. From extraction to transport to selling, everything is done by hand. In markets, salt is sold in bulk bags and scooped out like grain. And after all that risk, the reward is around $10 a day, a job that slowly damages the body but continues because for many people, there's no other option. If you were truly in a desperate situation, would you take this job? Number 7. Hyenas hunting in the dark. What would happen if your pet was a hyena? That sounds ridiculous until you get to Harar in eastern Ethiopia, where nightfall brings one of the strangest real-life traditions you'll ever see hyena feeding. Not in a zoo, not behind fences. Real hyenas walking in from the darkness like they have an appointment. Locals have lived alongside hyenas for generations, and many believe feeding them helps keep the animals from attacking livestock or roaming deeper into the city. It's treated like a quiet deal between humans and predators. Keep the balance, keep the peace. The feeding is usually done by a few experienced men, people who know the animals and know the limits. They call out into the dark, and you'll see shapes move in. The hyenas approach carefully, sniffing, testing the air. Then the feeding starts often with chunks of meat placed on the ground, and in some performances offered from a stick or even directly from the mouth. Tourists love that part because it looks like a movie scene, but locals treat it like a serious ritual. You don't scream, you don't run, and you definitely don't act like you're in a theme park. Ethiopia isn't just culture and food. Some of its landscapes look so unreal, you almost forget you're in Africa. Number 8. The strangest places you can visit. The biggest shock is the Danakil Depression, often described as one of the hottest places on Earth. Daytime temperatures can hit 120 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ground looks like another planet. Bright yellow sulfur fields, acidic pools, and areas with toxic gases rising straight from the Earth. This isn't a quiet desert. It's geology still happening in real time. Inside the same harsh region is the Dalol hydrothermal field, famous for neon colors. Natural pools turn green, orange, and yellow because of minerals and chemical reactions underground. It looks beautiful, but the water is extremely acidic, so even touching it can be dangerous. Walking there feels like stepping into a natural chemistry lab. Then, Ethiopia flips the mood completely with the Simeon Mountains, often called the roof of Africa. You get jagged cliffs, deep valleys, and drops that stretch for miles. Some cliffs fall more than 4,900 feet straight down. And this is one of the few places you can see gelada monkeys, which look like something made for a documentary. Gelada monkeys survive almost exclusively on the lush grasses that grow in abundance here. Their grassy diet means they have to spend most of their day sitting down picking their food. Opposable thumbs along with a short index finger provide a tweezer-like grip perfect for plucking grasses. If you want fire instead of cliffs, there's Erta Ale Volcano, one of the few places on Earth with a permanent lava lake. At night, the crater glows red, and you can watch molten rock moving slowly like the planet is breathing. Now here's a most dangerous corner that doesn't involve lava at all. Abuna Yamata Gu in the Tigray region. It's a church carved into a cliff, and getting there is the real test. You climb up bare rock using handholds, cross a narrow ledge with serious drop-offs, and then squeeze into a hidden space where the reward is quiet ancient wall paintings and a view that makes your legs feel weak. And then after all that heat and danger, Ethiopia gives you calm, the Lake Tana monasteries. They sit on islands in Ethiopia's largest lake, hidden by trees and reached only by boat. Inside are centuries-old paintings, manuscripts, and relics preserved in quiet isolation. It feels like time slows down on purpose. Number 9. Unusual tradition. In Ethiopia, one of the most noticeable is how people eat. There are no utensils. Everything is done by hand. Food is placed on a large piece of injera, and people tear pieces to scoop up meat or vegetables. What makes it even more unique is a gesture called gursha, where one person feeds another by hand, often used to show respect, friendship, or closeness. At the same time, what seems modern does not always function the way you expect. Even in cities like Addis Ababa, elevators are rare or unreliable, so walking up several floors becomes part of everyday life. However many people might find their legs tired, but you'll get used to it after a while, although I still wish I could take the elevator to save more time. Step outside and the streets tell another story. traffic includes not only cars and motorbikes, but also cows, goats, and donkeys. Ethiopia has the largest livestock population in Africa, with over 70 million cattle, 52.5 million goats, 42.9 million sheep, and 8.1 million camels. So it is no surprise they spill directly into daily traffic. In many towns, you will see entire herds moving slowly across the road, guided by a single person with a stick, while cars, motorcycles, and buses are forced to stop or carefully weave around them. A short drive can easily double in time just waiting for livestock to pass. This does not just slow traffic, it reshapes it. Drivers become more patient, honking less, while pedestrians casually step between animals as if it is routine. And if you're in the habit of looking directly at everyone, you should adjust that a little. In Ethiopia, respect is often shown through subtle gestures such as a slight bow or avoiding direct eye contact, especially with elders. Number 10. Is Ethiopia really a low-cost country to live in? At first glance, Ethiopia feels like a low-cost country. But once you look closer, the reality depends heavily on who you are and how you live. Food is where things feel most affordable. A basic local meal with injera and toppings usually costs around $2 to $4, while a more comfortable restaurant meal ranges from $6 to $12 per person. Street food can drop as low as $1 to $2, making it possible to eat full meals for very little. Transportation also stays cheap. Shared minibuses, which are the most common way to get around, often cost under $1 per ride, while longer trips across the city may reach $2 to $3. Fuel prices are around $0.8 to $1 per liter, so driving is not extremely expensive, but still noticeable for locals. Housing, however, changes everything. In Addis Ababa, a basic apartment can cost $150 to $400 per month, while newer or better located places can go much higher. This becomes a serious burden when compared to income levels. Because the reality is, many workers earn only $50 to $100 per month, especially in manual or factory jobs. That means even rent alone can exceed what a person makes, forcing families to share spaces or rely on extended family support. Utilities and daily essentials are not always stable either. Electricity and water shortages can happen, so people sometimes spend extra on backup solutions, adding hidden costs that are not obvious at first. If you've made it this far, Ethiopia has probably challenged everything you thought you knew, from its traditions and daily life to the way people eat, work, and live. So which part stood out to you the most? Drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more unique places and stories from around the world.